Hey guys, it's Firefly here. This video is for everybody who watches my Rogue Assault content, but especially the closest of friends that I've met through playing the game over the past 3.5 years. I've been on and off the game for months, increasingly more off than on, and the last time I logged into the game must have been weeks ago, and the last time I actually deployed into battle, I don't even remember when that was, could have been months back. And with all the good memories I've had playing this game, it hurts a little to say this, but I think I'm done here. The reason for this is quite simple. The game just doesn't appeal to me anymore. And to be honest, it hasn't for quite some time, and I've mostly just tolerated the problems I have with the game itself in order to have a space where I could hang out with the friends I made while playing this game. The game isn't getting that much better. In fact, in some aspects, I think it's actually getting worse. And on the other hand, probably thanks to that, most of the close friends I've made from playing this game have also either left or are sort of on and off like I was, increasingly more off than on as well. So yeah, for me this game just no longer has much value left in it, and on the other hand, at the end game, which is where me and everybody I know is, Rogue Assault is decidedly not a game where you can play for 2 hours a week and expect to accomplish anything meaningfully satisfying. And anything more than that, I just can't justify putting into the game anymore because of how little I found myself getting in return. Given how invested I've been in the game for the whole time I was actively playing, I thought I should make this video to properly close off my chapter here instead of just quietly fading out. So, from the bottom of my heart, to all the friends I've made playing this game, thank you so much for all the inspiring conversations and great battles. This channel is not going to shut down or fall quiet right after this game. Over the past year, I've been absolutely hooked on two new games that I play on my PC, enough so that I plan on producing content for both of them on this channel. And unlike Rogue Assault, which is a game that I hesitate to get anybody else on board because of its tremendous issues, even after playing it for several years myself, these two games I can wholeheartedly endorse. The first one is called Snowrunner, which is an off-road trucking game, and it's way more fun than it first sounds. You drive trucks to explore different places and complete different types of tasks, which at first, to fresh ears, sounds like you're going into the game to pretend to work a job. So basically, Rogue Assault, where you're actually working a job. But even though it sounds inherently way more likely to be that, it's totally not that. And the reason why is off-roading. So the terrain you have to drive through is very, very harsh, and you have to use all kinds of tools the game gives you to complete objectives. There is a co-op mode where you can open your save file as a multiplayer lobby and let your friends or random players on the internet hop in and help you out. The game is a simulator to some extent, so it's got photorealistic graphics, as in realistic scenery and realistic trucks. A lot of licensed trucks, actually, which is something that a lot of people are into, sort of the simulation aspect. But what's really important to me is that it also more than ticks the box as a video game with meaningful objectives and very engaging gameplay design, which is something that is usually kind of lacking from its genre and something that I am very much into. Beyond that, the landscape is beautiful, the vehicles look really cool, sound design is also great, and as far as I can tell, all of that doesn't eat into technical performance too much. Snowrunner is just, in my opinion, an incredibly polished and high quality game, And for me personally, it's been a relieving breath of fresh air after Rogue Assault and Call of Duty Warzone, which I also quit recently for a somewhat overlapping set of reasons. I've actually already completed my first playthrough of Snowrunner. Usually with this kind of game, people tend to toss them aside after finishing them once and move on to a different game. Me personally, I've yet to have enough, so I've been spending my game time jumping into open lobbies and helping out other players with their progression and playing with streamers on Twitch or just discussing the game with them and their viewers in their chat. And that's something I enjoy doing, similar to how I used to love just talking about Rogue Assault with some of you guys on Discord. Um, Snowrunner really does reward players who don't just play the game, but deliberately try to collect game knowledge and optimize their performance, which has always been how I like to play games, and I know that is something that some of you guys share as well. The game is unfortunately not available on mobile like Rogue Assault, but if any of you guys happen to also have a PC that's powerful enough or a PlayStation or Xbox, you are more than welcome to jump on board the ride with me. I also already have a plan to start a second playthrough where I am going to play through the earlier sections of the game in a particular way with my live commentary and turn that into content for this channel. I specifically want to do a guide slash walkthrough kind of content. So there's going to be at least one series for Snowrunner on my channel, plus a lot more content that's probably going to be mostly standalone. So for those of you who are at least a little curious about what Snowrunner is actually about, even if you don't play the game or don't play the game yet, do stick around. And if you are going to jump into the game, I think this content is going to make it a much smoother ride in the beginning because the game does have sort of a steep learning curve. The second game that I'm looking forward to producing content for is called Satisfactory, and it's a game about building factories. First of all, no comment on the wordplay, and secondly, again, we're starting to develop a theme here, I guess. Yes, to fresh ears, it's inevitably gonna sound like that I'm again excited about jumping into a video game to pretend to work a job. Again and again, as familiar as that might sound, it is absolutely nothing like Rogue Assault. The game is set centuries into the future, where you, the player, work for an interstellar corporation, and they send you to an unexplored alien planet so you can extract its resources and produce products, which you can then send back into space. The primary element of Satisfactory's gameplay is sort of like Lego for machines. So imagine Minecraft, but redstone and redstone components are the only part of the game that's actually still there. And it's also way more complicated than it actually is in Minecraft. I don't know if those words are helping everyone or anyone. In a nutshell, it's about building stuff. You build stuff, which makes stuff, which you can then use to reach higher tiers of gameplay. So progression is one of your objectives, but the further you get into the game, the more you're naturally going to be tempted to make your creations as efficient as possible and also make your game world as beautiful as possible instead of just rushing to the next tier of stuff. And just like Snowrunner, the game is beautiful. It's got this dreamy, sort of artistic theme to it. Sometimes a little too dreamy, especially if you leave the default background music on. If you play for long enough, you might get a headache from that. But when I'm okay with that, I like the game. Frankly, it wasn't intuitive what the hell the game was even about when I first discovered it on the Epic Games Store. I watched the trailer and I was like, okay, this looks really cool, but I have no idea what it is. Then I went on YouTube and watched a couple episodes of other people's playthroughs and decided that this might be something I want to try out, so I went and bought it. And I'm really glad that I did. I haven't actually been playing Satisfactory for around 2 months because the game is actually still in early access, which is amazing given how good it looks and plays already. But it's still in early access, and 2 months ago, the devs announced that there were going to be some upcoming changes in the next big update that might distort certain progress you make at a particular stage of the game. I happen to have just reached that stage of the game. I didn't actually break the barrier and go into it, but I was right under it and running out of other things to do. So I decided to stay away from it for a while until the new stuff got fully unraveled. Didn't really want to play the beta side of things. I mean, it's early access, so it's already kind of a beta. They have an experimental version where it's more like an alpha, so you can try out things out even when they are, even more in their infancy. That update came out like a week ago, and it looks fantastic. Tons of new content, tons of changes that makes the game, I would say, meaningfully much better than before. They really targeted the frustrations that players have, that at least I have, and I know that everybody else kind of has too because they share it on Reddit. And I don't find that surprising because these devs really follow community feedback, and not only do they follow it, they act on it, and they have really good ways of figuring out and in general tracking what the player base wants. They've even got two community managers that are basically YouTubers. They run a YouTube channel that like informs the community about what the studio is up to with the game. So yeah, and I absolutely love all that. I absolutely love the game itself as well, so I can't wait to jump back in. I do have a lot of Snowrunner content queued up in my mind though, and in my content plan, which is just a Word document filled with numbered lists and bullet points. I don't want any of those ideas to go to waste, but producing all that content, especially up to the quality I want, will probably take some time, which is why you probably won't be seeing any Satisfactory on this channel anytime soon. Whereas Snowrunner is going to start showing up immediately after this video airs because I want to make what I know as soon as possible. I have ideas about what kinds of Satisfactory content I want to make, but they're not nearly as fully formed as what I have planned for Snowrunner, so that game will take a back seat. It is still a great game though, so if you guys are looking for a new game to play, definitely check it out. It's also on the Epic Games Store, and unfortunately, again, it's PC and console only, so Windows, PlayStation, and Xbox. So I'm sorry, Rogue Assault players who only play on mobile. So yeah, this video is just a channel update that I figured I should do. To those of you who are still expecting to see me around in Rogue Assault, I'm very sorry to disappoint. To those of you who are only here for Rogue Assault content, I'm sorry to see you go. In fact, I'm expecting at least a small wave of unsubscribing the moment this video goes live. But to those of you who decided to stay because you're at least a little curious about Snowrunner and Satisfactory, stay tuned. To end this video, I'd like to again address my Rogue Assault friends and former allies and or opponents. Thank you so much for all the great moments. It's these genuine friendships that allowed me to have this extraordinarily engaging gameplay experience over the past 3 years in this, in hindsight, honestly mediocre game. For those of you who want to stay in touch, you absolutely can. I will link my personal Discord server down below in the video description. You can click on the link and jump right in. And that just about wraps it up, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, both then and now. This is Costco Cookies, later Skylice, later Firefly, signing off.